The message that is coming through is you have been awakened for a reason. And these energies feel to be ancestral in nature, but they also feel to be somewhat cosmic in nature. So this may have to do with a combination of your earthly lineage and something that is beyond Earth. This feels like starseed energy. This feels like parallel world energy. This feels to be something that is beyond modern times in the scope of Earth would have been very unrecognizable at the time where these ancestors are coming from, to where they might almost appear alien in nature, but they are from Earth. It feels that you are somebody that has a very specific purpose to fulfill in this lifetime that has been germinating very slowly behind the scenes. You were awakened in order to make sure that you were highly alert by the time the world around you kind of caught up with itself enough to where it receives you and your purpose. Like there are steps that you've been taking forward and that you'll continue to be guided to take, but there's something that almost involves like a conjunction of things. So this may have to do with, you've become awakened, you've started expanding your knowledge about spirituality, you've started to connect more with your spirit team, with your ancestors. Maybe you resonate with being a star seed, and so you've looked into things of that nature in order to find community, in order to find connection within yourself, explanation within yourself. And all of this hasn't just been busy work. It hasn't just been something to kind of like make you aware. It's something that has been in the process of making sure that your frequency is fine-tuned enough that as the world is kind of coming into a place within itself, coming into its own, that you're part of like a movement of people, like you very specifically as this kind of ambassador of your lineage, but then others that are, walking this earth and kind of other realms and other dimensions, other planets, other planes of reality simultaneously, to all operate as one, like one consciousness within a consciousness at this particular kind of window in time right now. And in the coming, it feels like 2 to 3 years, where you won't have to kind of like seek to find that purpose, but you will be sought out. You'll be gravitated to, either by what you've already been kind of building behind the scenes, already seeking to put in place. Maybe you resonate as a light worker, or you've been trying to build like spiritually conscientious businesses. You've been moving in the direction of that, leading a more kind of spiritually well-rounded life, leaving just a strictly kind of materially focused life behind. And all of this, it feels like, is something that has allowed you to establish and to continue to establish like a brick and mortar within the etheric sense that kind of trickles down here into the material world, to where what may feel to be kind of like a slow placement of success, or slow climb to some kind of success, or like feeling right inside of yourself and things moving in a more easy or seamless way for you. This is something that you've been waiting for the world to ready itself for you. It's been getting all of those kind of like ducks in a row behind the scenes, so that as other people awaken, other needs are created in the world around you, that you're right there with the solutions. You're right there with that knowledge. You may be a person that is called to kind of like receive a lot of people that are just beginning on their spiritual journey. So the time that you've put into things, the paths that you've walked, the relationships that you've cultivated and strengthened with your ancestors, with your spirit team, with your spirit guides, with cosmic intelligences. All of this is something that is going to put you in a place of not just sort of saying that you are spiritual authority, but it being recognized. People gravitating to where the helpers are, to where the people that have that kind of high vibration are in the earthly realm, and you will be identified as that. Not because you get in while the getting's good, but because you're already there when that need arises within others, or others begin that process of seeking. Many who will almost kind of just stumble through your doors, maybe of a shop or a business, or into your life. People who will, send out those kind of prayers for guidance, those prayers for answers, those prayers for community, those prayers for a sense of belonging, and they will be divinely led to you. You are the person that is meant to be the serendipitous occasion in the lives, it feels like, of many others. And you may have already been that for people who are operating on more of like an unconscious frequency right now. But you've been awakened for a reason, to where you're going to start to experience over the next several years people that are like, I was guided towards you. I feel led towards you. You have presented something. You've spoken something. You offer something that is exactly what I needed to fit in some kind of missing piece within myself, or to validate for myself that I was doing an excellent job of fitting those pieces together for me. So you're a key player. You have a key role in kind of where things are headed, materially and spiritually speaking. You may be somebody who feels that, you're kind of like this urge to sort of break away from the status quo, or something where the questions that you have at this point, or the experiences that you have, you're not finding answers in very visible communities. There's not a lot of information out there, or it contradicts with your experience. And that may be something which is causing you to feel very isolated. And so there's a sense of like, you are a person that is meant to build like the next kind of community. Like, it will gather towards you. All you need to do is just continue along that quest of seeking, that quest of receiving, and your vibration will continue to rise in accordance with the needs of the vibration of the earth plane, and the people that are also supposed to be on that trajectory, on that path of awakening, of questioning, of seeing outside of the box that they have been like typecast into, or have chosen for themselves. So there's like a new community that is in the process of being stirred and kind of awakened. They are preparing to awaken. They are starting to awaken at this point. New energies coming towards you. And this may be something as well that helps to explain if there's been things that have been cleared out of your life recently. Relationships that have come full circle, that have fallen off, or people that you need to like cut out of your reality. Teachings and beliefs that you once resonated with that are just not, it's just not satisfying your soul anymore. There's a hunger for more. There's a notion that there's something else beyond all of that. All of that is for a reason. That there's like an energetic space that you are now not just occupying, but you're actively creating. That is a place others will come towards as well. Your energetic imprint upon the space-time continuum in this sense. In terms of your process of questioning, the possible answers you sift through, and what you hold to as truth for short periods of time, longer durations of time. All of that is kind of, it's fine-tuning your vibration and the imprint that you're making in the world around you. And it's not just so you can evolve or you can live more authentically, but it's something where there are others that are, part of like a new soul tribe that will develop for you. People that are part of your soul tribe right now that have just, they're further behind than you are on that awakening journey. They were scheduled for a different time to awaken. And so when their eyes are wide open and they are looking around for answers, you are among those people with whatever it is you're doing, or maybe things that you're going to be called to do within the next 2 to 3 years, or over the course of the next 2 to 3 years. To bring into form, to bring out of that dream space, out of that liminal space, into a place that is tangible, that people can access, that people can see, that people can read about, that people can hear about, that people can purchase, that people can participate in, that people can see and find value, and it sparks a questioning within themselves as well. That all of that is in the works. Your timing is perfect. You have missed nothing that is in alignment with sort of, one of the reasons that you came into this incarnation, and that your lineage has chosen to awaken you at the time when they did. So we have buried in the earth, transference. It feels like for a lot of you, there are some dormant gifts. This could have to do with like your clairsenses. This could have to do with gifts of prophecy. This could have to do with gifts of creativity, or finding new ways to use that creative energy, that creative spark, your connection to your higher self or to the subtle realms, in order to infuse that light in things that are of a material nature. This is workshops, this is books, this is, programs, this is podcasts, this is social media content, this is, modalities for healing, modalities for wellness, modalities for fitness, innovative things that don't just create ease in the lives of others, but promote comfort and wellness on like a deep spiritual level, are very in alignment with what the human animal needs, but also what the human family needs in tandem to its relationship with the earth plane as a whole. All of that is something, it feels like, which is going to become more accessible to you, more apparent to you. For some of you, you've been working towards one thing in particular, and there's going to be like a talent or an attribute that comes to the surface, and it's going to be so sudden or almost so accidental that you pick this thing up, or that you try it out. You're divinely guided towards it, and you find that like you're a prodigy at this. You're a genius. It comes naturally. It feels like it's something that you've done for years or decades, but you only just picked it up. And you're not just good, you're excellent. This is something that is almost like a dormant talent, interest, ability, capability that you've been honing and fine-tuning for many lifetimes, and simultaneously across the multiverse. So this is almost the energy of collaborating with like alternate versions of yourself. Not just future timeline versions, but versions of you within the multiverse that exist simultaneous to this version of you in the here and now. It's the energy of all of that condensing at this moment in time, so that you in the here and now are able to kind of bring this thing that only, you are able to do in the way that you do it, up to the surface, out into the light of day, where it can be found, where it can be accessible, where it can be received by the people that are meant to appreciate that, to be moved by that, to be healed by that, to be positively affected by that. We also have journey, imagination. So for some of you, this involves like guided meditations, shamanic journeys. This may be something that you are called to do, you have an opportunity to do, to work with a shaman. You yourselves may be a shaman. This may be a rite of passage for you to embrace that title, to not wait for someone to credential you as such, to call you as such, but to acknowledge that that is a self-initiation in many ways, because it is an initiation that takes place with the liminal realms, the liminal spheres of reality. It is something that an ancestral line appoints you as. You can pick up certain skills, you can pick up certain attributes, you can study with others, you can read books, you can have a teacher, you can have a mentor. But only the realm of spirit truly decides who is chosen for that, and who is just somebody that, is a tourist, has some kind of interest, gains some sort of benefit, would be a helper of sorts. So for a lot of you, this can also speak to something that you may be called to create for other people. Maybe this becomes like a job, a profession, something where you're giving workshops, you're helping others along that journeying process, or things that you discover through the process of journeying, through those meditations. That's where you get that spark and that aha moment that you're able to bring into the here and now. Something where a lot of you have come to the place where you are able to help to sort of ferry soul fragments that people have left behind at different periods of their life, that may involve trauma, that may involve loss, that may involve kind of extreme distress, helping others to kind of gather themselves beyond that point, to call their energy back to them, pluck their power away from the past and call it all into the present. This may also be something you're called to do through past life journey work with people, or something that would be beneficial for you to do as well, past life journey work for yourself, with yourself, or, you know, if you don't feel comfortable doing that with yourself or with your spirit team or with your ancestors, you know, seeking someone out who specializes in that, someone reputable, somebody, you know, that you would feel comfortable with. Because there's an idea of like reputation, not just being the person with like the most clients, or, you know, the string of letters behind their name, or the biggest name in publishing, you know, or whatever that kind of looks like, but it's somebody that you would connect with and you'd resonate with energetically. Maybe it's someone who's just starting off on that. Somebody who, you know, isn't kind of well known, but they resonate with your needs as a person, with your needs as a soul. Maybe something outside of a tradition that you are used to. There could be something that you're meant to connect with this person in order to become like that person, to help others from various traditions, to have these like crossover experiences that don't speak to cultural appropriation, but speak to almost the fact that the soul is unlabeled, and that we have all lived many lives as many different things in many different places across many different periods of time and planes of existence. You're at a place right now within yourself where you're being called to sort of step into this place of no longer seeing according to those labels and according to those distinctions, to be respectful, yes, but to listen to that call of your soul in terms of like what you are drawn towards, that part of yourself that you have been kind of just keeping hidden, maybe as like a curious observer, as a student, or as someone that is just like, I don't know why, but I resonate with these things. There's something deeper to explore there. There's something very shamanic in nature that is waiting for you to embrace yourself enough to allow yourself to be embraced by it. And then the journey continues forth, not just for yourself, but in a way that can help others as well. We also have medicine, shield, protection. So it feels like for some of you, you are going to be able to come into contact with different protective spirits that could be ancestral in nature, but it also feels to be like animal guides, spirit guides, you know, guides that are manifesting for you in the physical realm, that are going to give you these signs and indicators of their presence, and also will make it very abundantly clear that, you know, you do not walk alone through this world. Even when you are by yourself, you are not walking alone. And it's something that's going to come through in the form of like a sudden urge not to do something, which has the domino effect of keeping you out of harm's way. And it's not just like you sitting there and thinking, well, maybe, you know, I was deterred from that for a reason. It's like you're going to have this kind of proof, this kind of evidence, like, wow, if I'd moved any quicker, or if I hadn't listened to my intuition, that could have been me. I would have been right there. Something that lets you know definitively that there is a loving and benevolent presence that watches over you, that shields you, that cloaks you, that walks with you. Not just because you are loved, but because there is something very intentional about this incarnation, the fact that you have awakened when you did, that you are at this place in your life and your spiritual journey, that you are something that you are meant to fulfill as far as a role that benefits others. Others will come to you in a time of need. Therefore, as this kind of chosen individual, among other chosen individuals, there is a special level of protection that comes with you. Mountains are moved on your behalf because you have a very crucial purpose. It is not just you fulfilling your purpose, but you are key in others as well, becoming self-actualized. You are the help that others require. And it goes far beyond just like soul contracts. There's a degree of inevitability about this. of immutability about this. You are fated to be a guide in the lives of others, many others. And then the lives they go out to touch, the effects that they have in this incarnation and future incarnations, you are, again, a very key player, not just at this moment in time, but in kind of like what the world is becoming, or what a specific community is becoming, or even a community that is in the process of being formed at this time through unawakened souls that awaken, that are forced to transcend the limitations of themselves. For some of you, this is going to be people who are kind of going through like spontaneous awakenings, or something where, these are very unpleasant awakenings, and you're that grounding force that helps people to, become someone that is like in the world but not of it, where their whole life isn't just going to spiral out of control, where they're flailing around, without a life raft. You're that person that is like the hand in the darkness. You're that voice that is maybe like the one grain of truth, the one thing that makes sense, the thing that they hold on to that allows them to pick themselves up beyond confusing situations, beyond personal wreckage. It'll be different for everyone, but you're an inspiration, you're a light at a future point when those lights become very important, each and every one of them, and you are one of them. We also have offerings, wealth. So for a lot of you, you are meant to maybe have a career change, a career shift, into something that is a more spiritually based business. For some of you, you've already done this in your life. You have already laid the foundation. You've already laid the groundwork. And this is not like the most of what you are to experience. It'll get better. It'll get easier. Some of you might be on the brink of like, I don't know if I should continue with this. I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know if, it's going to be relevant. And there's a sense of like that abundance will come in like a windfall for you. It's going to go from, trickling into to kind of like you're overbooked. You're booking out months in advance. You can't keep the shelves stocked. You have something that you release and it's people just snatch it up right away. People are, calling in advance for things. If you're an artist, you may have people commissioning things years in advance. This is something where it's almost like when that abundance comes in, you can honestly look towards the following like decade of your life and very predictably be able to say, yeah, things are looking up for me. And for some of you, this is even just going to be, things are looking up for me because I finally have that stability I've been seeking. I can finally rest a little bit easier. A burden has been lifted off of me because this has worked. This idea has worked. I've gotten it right. I found what I'm good at. I found what I'm supposed to do. I am in alignment, and therefore blessings in a material sense are aligning with me as well. I'm creating a positive change in the lives of people around me, and therefore my life is affected positively as well. So this is something to where a level of kind of like comfort or material security as well, that's going to help you to be able to show up more effectively for the clients and the customers, for the people that you're meant to help, lives that you touch even outside of whatever this kind of like conscientious, spiritually based business, or more of your conscientious spiritual self, bringing that into the nature of whatever it is that you do, that all of this is going to be able to help raise the frequency of the community that you are in, the people that you are involved with, the lives of the people they touch, the communities they are in. It's almost like you're the hot spot for something that, kind of balloons out on multiple levels. You are that person that is the light in the dark that lights other lights. And we also have West, purge. Yeah, so this is the sense of you being able to see in the dark. You are the eyes for others during a dark time. You are that guide that helps others to move through periods of uncertainty or learning to adjust to kind of like a new normal. As far as, okay, I spent a chunk of my life just kind of going through the motions. Now I'm awake. Now what? You're that person that says, well, this is what I did. This is what I have to offer. This is what I have found works for me in that capacity. And where you go, others will follow. So you are a very powerful, I'm hearing guide in the making. So you're very, you have already, it feels like you've guided others to this point, but there are others that you are meant to guide forth. Your spirit guides, your ancestors, they didn't get it wrong when they chose you. Some of you may at times be like, why me? Are you sure you got the right person? Are you sure you got the right family member? Are you sure you're not confusing me with someone else? No, it's you. And this is something that it feels like you have walked a very long journey across multiple incarnations to come to this moment in time. You have chosen to come here to this moment in time, and therefore you were chosen to awaken at this hour, to be wide awake as others are coming online in a different sort of way. And that is because you have the skills required to reach people that may be struggling. You have the frequency inside that beyond the words you speak, beyond the things you present visually, beyond the perspectives that you give. It's a frequency within that touches upon a resonant frequency with others, and they are able to walk forth, aligning with more clarity inside of themselves in a way that may involve you or in a unique way for themselves. But you are someone who this incarnation is not accidental, that effort is being made within the subtle realms to ensure that you have as much clarity as possible to know that you are headed in the right direction, even if it seems like you are heading out into the unknown. You just need to remember that you can see in the dark. And so what may appear to be the unknown is really the space where that intuition, that higher sense takes over. You're seeing with the eyes of your higher self. And for a lot of you, you are moving into a position, or the world is readying itself to be able to receive your teachings in a variety of ways of how that's done, so others can walk in an accordant fashion as well. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.